Day 57. Numbers chapters 7 and 8. Have you ever done something for God, and it felt like no one noticed? You served, you gave, you sacrificed quietly, but there was no applause, no spotlight, no social media post. At first glance, today's whispers look repetitive. Long lists of names and identical offerings, but these are some of the most beautiful lessons for anyone seeking God sincerely. The whisper of when God notices individual faithfulness. We begin reading about the leaders from each tribe of Israel, who bring offerings for the dedication of the altar. And here's what's interesting. Each leader brings exactly the same gift, same silver plate, same silver bowl, same grain offering, same animals. If you read it quickly, it feels repetitive. Why didn't God just say, they all brought the same thing? But he didn't. Instead, he recorded each name, one by one, day by day. 12 separate times. Why? Because even when the gift looks the same, the giver matters. Comparison is everywhere. You might think, someone else is doing more. Someone else is more gifted. My offering is small. But no, that God doesn't compare your obedience to someone else's. He records your name, your quiet prayer, your faithful tithing, your consistency, your service in a small church or classroom or home. Even if it looks ordinary, God sees it as personal. None of the leaders tried to outdo each other. No one said, I'll bring double so I stand out. They followed instruction. In our culture, we often feel pressure to be exceptional, viral, or extraordinary. I hope you realize that God values obedience more than originality. You don't have to reinvent the faith. You don't have to be louder than everyone else. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply follow what God has already asked you to do. Consistency builds altars in heaven. Then we move into chapter 8, where God gives instructions about the lampstand in the tabernacle. The lamps were to shine forward, giving light in front of the lampstand. It wasn't just decoration, it was direction. Light reveals what's ahead. Before the priests begin their service, the light must be positioned correctly. Why? Because service without illumination leads to burnout. Many of us serve God, but without staying connected to His light. We work for Him, but not with Him. The lampstand reminds us to stay lit, stay connected, stay positioned toward Him. You cannot pour out if you are spiritually empty. If you are seeking God today, this is encouragement. Don't just serve, stay in His presence. Let His word light your direction. Another whisper describes the purification of the Levites before they begin serving. They were washed, they shaved, they offered sacrifices. They were publicly presented before the Lord. It was a process. In today's fast-paced world, we want instant platforms, instant calling, instant impact. But God prepares people before He uses them. If you feel like you are in a hidden season, being refined, corrected, stretched, that may not be rejection, it may be preparation. Purification feels uncomfortable, but it protects your future. God cares more about your character than your visibility. We have read that the Levites were set apart and given to God in place of the firstborn of Israel. They belonged to Him, not because they earned it, but because He chose them. If you are seeking God today, here is something deeply reassuring. You belong to Him before you perform for Him. Your identity comes before your assignment. You are not trying to earn God's love by serving harder. You serve because you are already His. The next whisper is on the Levites, who had to begin service at a certain age, and retired at a certain age. Even in sacred work, there were limits. That tells us something powerful. God does not demand endless exhaustion. There are seasons to carry heavy loads, and seasons to step back and support others. If you are tired in your spiritual journey, maybe God is not asking you to quit, but to adjust your role. Rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. The following gentle reminders are for anyone pursuing God. Your obedience matters, even if it looks ordinary. God sees individual faithfulness. Stay connected to His light. Preparation is not punishment, you belong to Him. And even in service, He provides rhythms of rest. If you feel unseen today, remember this. God wrote 12 nearly identical offerings into Scripture, just to make sure each name was remembered. If He did that for them, He sees you too. Keep showing up. Keep seeking. Keep shining. He is closer than you think.